The space station floated quietly in the darkness between stars. Proxima Station was a place where different species from across the galaxy could meet and talk. Today, it hosted a cultural exchange program. Human children were learning about alien customs, and alien children were learning about Earth. 8-year-old Dae Kim walked through the crowded hallway with his class. His dark eyes were wide with wonder as he looked at all the strange beings around him. There were tall blue creatures with 4 arms, small fuzzy ones that bounced instead of walked, and many others he had never seen before. His mother, Commander Hannah Park, watched from nearby. She wore the neat uniform of Earth's Navy. Her job was to protect the human children during these visits. She smiled as she watched Dae point excitedly at a floating jellyfish-like alien. Dae turned to run back to his teacher when it happened. He bumped into something hard and fell backward onto the floor. Looking up, he saw a creature that looked like a giant lizard standing on 2 legs. The creature wore expensive purple robes covered in gold decorations. "Watch where you walk, mammal!" the creature hissed. Its voice was cold and full of anger. "I'm sorry," Dae said quickly, getting to his feet. "I didn't see you." "Didn't see me? Prince Vorn of the Krellin Empire?" The lizard creature stepped closer. "You will get on your knees and beg for forgiveness, human child." Hannah moved quickly through the crowd. She stepped between her son and the prince. "He already apologized. That's enough." Prince Vorn's red eyes narrowed. "A female speaks? You mammals have no respect." He waved one clawed hand at the guards behind him. "Teach them their place." Everything happened so fast. The guards raised their plasma weapons. Hannah tried to push Dae behind her. Bright blue energy bolts filled the hallway. People screamed and ran in all directions. When the shooting stopped, Dae lay on the ground. His small chest had a terrible burn across it. Hannah dropped to her knees beside him, her hands shaking as she tried to stop the bleeding. 2 other humans lay nearby, not moving at all. They would never move again. Prince Vorn looked down at them with cold eyes. The child should have shown respect. He turned and walked away with his guards following him. The next hours were chaos. Doctors rushed Dae to the medical center. Hannah sat in the waiting room, her uniform covered in her son's blood. Other Earth officers came to stand with her. No one spoke. They just waited. Ambassador Yuna Lee arrived at the station 6 hours later. She went straight to the Galactic Council's emergency meeting. The council chamber was a huge round room where representatives from hundreds of species gathered. "The Krellin Empire apologizes for this unfortunate incident," the Krellin ambassador said. His voice didn't sound sorry at all. "However, Prince Vorn has diplomatic immunity. This matter is closed." Yuna stood up. Her voice was calm, but everyone could hear the anger underneath. "A child was nearly killed. 2 civilians are dead. And you call this closed?" An old alien that looked like a walking tree spoke next. "Ambassador Lee, we understand your anger, but the Krellin Empire is powerful. They have thousands of ships and control hundreds of worlds. Earth has been part of our council for only 15 years. Perhaps it would be wise to accept compensation and move forward peacefully." "Compensation?" Yuna's hands gripped the edge of her desk. "You want us to accept money for a child's life?" "We advise it," another council member said. "Starting a conflict with the Krellin Empire would be foolish for a young species like humanity." Yuna looked around the room. She saw fear in many eyes. These older species were afraid of the Krellin Empire. They would not help Earth. She tapped her communication device and spoke clearly. "This is Ambassador Lee. Send the message home. Code Broken Arrow." On Earth, deep in a military command center buried under a mountain, alarms began to sound. Admiral Jin Quan read the message on his screen. His face became hard as stone. He pressed a button on his desk. "Activate Protocol Nightfall. Bring the Shadow Fleet to ready status. Contact Dr. Choi and General Han. We meet in 1 hour. Across Earth, secret military bases hidden for 15 years came to life. In the asteroid belt, thousands of weapons platforms powered up. Ships that had been disguised as mining vessels dropped their fake outer shells. Soldiers who had trained for this exact moment picked up weapons that the galaxy had never seen. Back on Proxima Station, doctors told Hana that Day would live, but he would need months of treatment. She sat by his bed and held his small hand. Tears ran down her face, but her eyes were not sad. They were cold and hard. The Galactic Council sent an official message to Earth. It offered 1 million credits as payment for the incident. It suggested that Earth should learn to be more careful around important species. Earth's government building went completely dark. Every human diplomatic mission across the galaxy was recalled. Every human ship began moving toward home. Every human on every alien world started packing. The galaxy noticed the silence. For 72 hours, Earth did not answer any messages, did not send any communications, did not explain anything. Some species thought humans were scared. Some thought they were preparing to beg for forgiveness. The Krellin Empire thought the mammals had finally learned their place. They were all wrong. On the third day, Earth sent one message to every species in the galaxy. It was short and simple. We are coming. Admiral Jin Quan stood in a room that did not officially exist. The War Council chamber was built 3 kilometers under the Rocky Mountains. Only 12 people in the entire world knew about this place. Now, all 12 were here. Report, Jin said simply. Dr. Ari Choi stood up first. She was a small woman with gray hair and sharp eyes. She had spent 15 years building weapons that could end worlds. All research projects are ready for deployment. Hellfire, Reaper, and Event Horizon are online. General Wu Han went next. He was a big man with scars on his face from the last war Earth fought before joining the galaxy. The Shadow Armada is fully armed and waiting. 2,000 ships. All crews are ready. Good. Jin looked at the screen showing Day's picture. The small boy sleeping in a medical bed. They hurt our child. They killed our people. And the galaxy told us to accept money and forget. He turned to face the council. No, not this time. Not ever again. He pressed a button and a hologram appeared in the center of the room. It showed the Krellin Empire, 400 worlds marked in red. This is our target. All of it. An older woman named Dr. Bo Lim spoke up. Admiral, the Krellin Empire has 10,000 warships. Even with our technology, the numbers don't matter, Dr. Choi interrupted. They think we're primitive. They think their plasma weapons and fusion missiles are advanced. They've never seen what we can really do. Jin nodded. For 15 years, we played weak. We sent diplomats who smiled and bowed. We sent scientists who asked simple questions. We sent children to cultural exchanges. His voice became hard. We were learning. Every ship we saw, we studied. Every weapon they showed us, we improved. Every technology they had, we made better. He pulled up another hologram. This one showed Earth's real technology level. The council members who didn't know the full truth gasped. We had faster-than-light travel before we ever met the Krellin Empire, Jin continued. We had quantum computers when they were still using silicon chips. We had fusion power when they were burning fossil fuels. But we hid it all. We made ourselves look weak. Why? Someone asked. Because strong species make enemies. Weak species make friends who talk too much. Jin smiled, but it wasn't a happy smile. And while they talked, we listened. We learned everything. Their military bases, their trade routes, their politics, their weaknesses. General Han pulled up a new image. This is what they don't know. The Shadow Armada has been building for 12 years. Every ship is made with technology they can't understand. Weapons that work on quantum principles. Shields that exist in multiple dimensions. engines that can fold space itself. Dr. Choi added more information. Project Hellfire uses quantum manipulation. Our torpedoes exist in multiple places at the same time. They can't be dodged because they hit you before you know they're coming. Project Reaper uses nanites, tiny machines smaller than a cell. They eat enemy ships and turn them into more nanites. One handful can destroy a fleet. And Event Horizon? Jin asked. Dr. Choi's face became very serious. Singularity bombs. They create tiny black holes that last for exactly 3 seconds, long enough to destroy a planet's moon or a space station. Then they collapse safely. We have 100 of them ready. The room was quiet for a moment. Then Jin spoke again. Ambassador Yuna is preparing our ultimatum. The Galactic Council will receive it in 6 hours. They will have 48 hours to give us Prince Vorn and his guards for trial. If they refuse, he paused, the Krellin Empire will cease to exist. The Council will never agree, Dr. Lim said. The Krellin Empire is too powerful. They'll think we're bluffing. Let them think that, Jin replied. It will make their shock even greater. Across the solar system, Earth's hidden military woke up. Captain Tae Shin stood on the bridge of the Indomitable, a warship that had been disguised as a cargo hauler for 10 years. Now its real hull showed. Black metal that absorbed all light, weapons that could crack moons, a crew trained to fight like no one in the galaxy had ever seen. All systems green, his first officer reported. Weapons hot, engines ready, quantum drives charged. Tae nodded. Good. We wait for the word. In the asteroid belt, thousands of satellites that were supposed to be mining equipment transformed. Their outer shells fell away. Underneath were weapons platforms, each one carrying enough firepower to destroy a city. They turned toward the edge of the solar system and waited. On Mars, in a facility hidden inside Olympus Mons, soldiers put on armor that made them stronger and faster. Colonel Young Seo checked his weapon. It was small and simple-looking, but it could fire bullets that moved faster than light itself. How many drops are we planning? One of his soldiers asked. All of them, Young replied. Every Krellin colony world at the same time, 400 drops in 1 hour. That's impossible. That's why we trained for 5 years. Young smiled. They're about to learn what's impossible. 6 hours later, Ambassador Yuna walked into the Galactic Council chamber. She looked tired, but her voice was strong and clear. The United Earth government sends this message to the Galactic Council and the Krellin Empire. You have 48 hours to deliver Prince Vorn and his guards for trial under human law. If you comply, we will accept justice and move forward. If you refuse... She stopped and looked directly at the Krellin ambassador. We will withdraw from this council, and the Krellin Empire will be removed from the galaxy. The chamber exploded with noise, species shouting, aliens arguing. The Krellin ambassador stood up, his face showing amusement. Removed from the galaxy? You mammals are funny. The Krellin Empire commands 10,000 ships. We control 400 worlds. We have fought wars for 1,000 years. And you, a species that joined the galaxy 15 years ago, threatens us? He laughed. Go home, little human, before we decide to remove Earth instead. Yuna didn't smile. 48 hours. The countdown begins now. She turned and walked out. Behind her, the council dissolved into chaos. Some species thought humans were insane. Others thought it was a desperate bluff. The Krellin Empire began moving its third fleet toward Earth. 1,500 ships to teach the mammals a lesson. On Earth, Admiral Jin received the news. They're coming with 1,500 ships. Good, he said quietly. Let them come close. Let them think they're winning. He looked at his watch. 47 hours and 58 minutes remaining. Around Earth, the Shadow Armada waited in perfect silence. Captain G. Bayek walked through the corridors of the Phantom. His ship was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. From the outside, it looked like empty space. The stealth technology made it completely invisible. No scanner could find it. No eye could see it. It was a ghost ship, carrying weapons that could destroy worlds. "Status report," he said to his crew. "All stealth systems working perfectly, Captain," his science officer replied. "We could fly through the center of an enemy fleet and they wouldn't know we're here." "Weapons?" "Charged and ready. We have 12 Event Horizon devices, 50 Hellfire torpedoes, and enough Reaper nanites to consume a small moon." G nodded slowly. "And the other stealth carriers?" "All 12 are in position around Krellin space. We're waiting for the signal." Across the galaxy, the Krellin Third Fleet moved toward Earth. Admiral Vex, a veteran warrior with scales covered in battle scars, commanded the fleet from his flagship. He looked at the display showing Earth's solar system. "A single planet, one small world dares to threaten the Empire." He laughed. "We will burn their cities from orbit. We will make an example that will echo for 1,000 years." His second officer spoke up. "Sir, our scouts report something strange. Earth has evacuated all their stations. Every human in our territory has left, and there are satellites around their system we've never seen before." "Fear," Vex said. "They're afraid and running to hide behind their planet. The satellites are probably defensive shields, useless against our plasma cannons." He waved a claw dismissively. "We arrive in 30 hours. Prepare the bombardment crews." But the satellites around Earth's solar system were not shields. They were weapons. Each one carried a quantum destabilizer that could tear ships apart at the molecular level. And there were 10,000 of them, forming a perfect sphere around the entire system. On Proxima Station, Hannah Park sat by her son's bed. Day was sleeping now, his chest slowly healing. She held his hand gently and spoke quietly, even though he couldn't hear. "They think we'll forgive this. They think we'll accept money and move on." Her voice became hard. "They don't understand. They hurt you. And for that, their entire empire will fall." Her communication device buzzed. A message from Admiral Jin. "Commander Park, you are promoted to Strike Force Coordinator. Report to the Indomitable immediately. Bring day. Our medical facilities are better." Hannah smiled. She was going to war, and her son would be safe on Earth's most advanced warship while she helped destroy the species that hurt him. Colonel Young Seo stood in the drop bay of the carrier Silence. Around him, 2,000 soldiers in black armor prepared their equipment. Each soldier carried weapons that seemed simple, but were built with technology the galaxy didn't understand. "Listen up," Young's voice echoed through the bay. "In 20 hours, we're going to do something that's never been done before. 400 worlds, 400 simultaneous drops. Every Krellin colony will have human soldiers landing at the exact same moment." One of his soldiers raised a hand. "Sir, what are our targets?" "Not their military bases, not their cities." Young smiled coldly. "The Imperial Palace on each world. We're going to walk into their centers of power and take them. No fighting if we can avoid it. Just show them that we can go anywhere we want, anytime we want." "And Prince Vorn?" "Strike Team Omega handles him. Commander Park will lead that mission personally." Young checked his weapon one more time. "Our job is to show them that the Krellin Empire has no safe places anymore, nowhere they can hide from us." With 6 hours left on the countdown, the Galactic Council met again. They were worried now. Earth had gone completely silent. All human ships had vanished from known space. The usually talkative human diplomats said nothing. "They must be preparing to apologize," one council member suggested. "This was all just posturing." Ambassador Yuna appeared on their screens. She looked calm, too calm. "This is your final warning. 5 hours and 57 minutes remain. Deliver Prince Vorn for trial or face the consequences. The Krellin Emperor himself appeared on another screen. He was an old Krellin with golden scales and cold, cruel eyes. You dare threaten me, mammal? I have ruled for 300 years. The Krellin Empire has conquered 1,000 species. What can your tiny world do to us? Yuna's expression didn't change. In 6 hours, you'll find out. I suggest you remember this moment. Remember that you had a choice. The Emperor's laugh was like rocks grinding together. My third fleet will reach your world soon. Perhaps instead of destroying Earth, I'll make you all slaves. Your children will serve Krellin masters for generations. That is fitting punishment for your disrespect. 5 hours and 55 minutes, Yuna said quietly. Then she ended the transmission. On Earth, in the War Council chamber, Admiral Jin watched the countdown. Dr. Choi stood beside him. All weapons are ready, she reported. All ships are in position. All soldiers are prepared. Civilian casualties? Jin asked. Our targeting is precise. We'll hit only military and government targets. Krellin civilians won't be harmed unless they interfere. Good. We're not monsters. Jin turned to General Han. What about their response capability? After the first strike, they won't have any. We're hitting every shipyard, every military base, every command center at once. They'll be completely paralyzed within the first hour. Captain Tay stood on the bridge of the Indomitable, now revealed in all its terrible beauty. The ship was 5 kilometers long, covered in black metal that seemed to absorb light itself. Its weapons could destroy moons. Its shields could withstand a sun's heat. Hana arrived on the bridge carrying Day carefully. Medical staff took her son to the ship's hospital bay, while she took her position at the tactical station. Welcome aboard, Commander, Tay said. Ready for your mission? More than ready, Hana replied. Her fingers moved over the controls, bringing up the layout of the Imperial Palace on Krellin Prime. Strike Team Omega will insert here, here, and here. We'll have Prince Vorn in custody within 30 minutes of landing. And if he resists? Hana's smile was cold. Then he'll learn what happens when you hurt our children. 1 hour remained. The Krellin Third Fleet was now close to Earth's solar system. Admiral Vex looked at his screens with satisfaction. Prepare all weapons. When we enter their space, we'll... His science officer interrupted. Sir, sensors are detecting something. The satellites around their system. They're powering up. Defensive shields activating. Nothing to worry about. But Vex frowned. Something felt wrong. Then his officer spoke again, voice shaking. Sir, those aren't shields. They're... I don't know what they are. The energy readings are impossible. It's like they're bending space itself. Vex was about to respond when Admiral Jin's voice came through on every Krellin communication channel. It also reached every species in the galaxy. Everyone would see what happened next. This is Admiral Jin Quan of United Earth Forces, to the Krellin Third Fleet. You are hereby ordered to withdraw immediately. This is your only warning. Vex laughed. We don't take orders from mammals. All ships prepare to... The countdown has ended, Jin said quietly. You attacked our child. There is no mercy. The weapons around Earth's solar system fired as one. The Krellin Third Fleet died in 4 minutes. The quantum torpedoes from Earth's satellite network hit their targets before the Krellins even knew they were fired. These weapons existed in multiple places at the same time. Following probability paths through space, they couldn't be dodged because they hit you in every possible future where you might dodge. 1,500 Krellin warships simply stopped existing. No explosions, no fire. They were there one moment and gone the next, turned into scattered atoms floating in space. Admiral Vex had exactly 3 seconds to understand what happened before his flagship vanished around him. Across the galaxy, military observers from hundreds of species watched in absolute silence. Their instruments showed the battle, but their minds couldn't process it. The entire fleet, gone, in 4 minutes. "Impossible," one alien general whispered. "That's impossible." But it was just the beginning. Admiral Jin stood in the War Council chamber and spoke calmly into his communication device. Phase 2. Execute. Across Krellin space, the Shadow Armada appeared. Ships that had been invisible suddenly became real. 2,000 human warships dropped their stealth fields at the same moment, each one positioned above a Krellin military target. Captain G. Beck, on the Phantom, looked down at a Krellin shipyard. It was massive, capable of building 50 warships at once. Hundreds of partially built ships floated in construction frames. Thousands of Krellin workers moved through the facility. "All workers evacuate immediately," G broadcast in Krellin language. "You have 5 minutes. This facility will be destroyed." The Krellins didn't believe him. They thought it was a trick. They kept working. G waited exactly 5 minutes. Then he released one handful of Reaper nanites. The tiny machines, each smaller than a cell, drifted down toward the shipyard. When they touched the first ship, they began to consume it. Metal turned into more nanites. Each nanite made 2 more. Those made 4 more. Within 30 seconds, the consumption became visible. Ships simply dissolved, their metal flowing like water as it transformed into billions of tiny machines. The Krellin workers finally understood and ran. The nanites weren't interested in living tissue, only metal and technology. Within 3 minutes, the entire shipyard was gone, converted into a cloud of nanites that G then recalled to the Phantom for reuse. 399 other human ships did the same thing at the same time. Every Krellin shipyard vanished in less than an hour. The Krellin military tried to respond. Warships across the Empire scrambled to defend their worlds. They found human ships waiting for them. The battles weren't even fair. Captain Tay, on the Indomitable, faced a Krellin battle group of 50 ships. They opened fire with plasma cannons and fusion missiles. The weapons hit the Indomitable's shields and simply disappeared, absorbed into a quantum field that converted their energy into nothing. "Their weapons are useless against our shields," Tay's science officer reported. "They might as well be throwing rocks." "Return fire," Tay ordered. "Hellfire torpedoes. Minimum yield." 6 torpedoes launched from the Indomitable. Each one existed in multiple quantum states until it hit its target. The Krellin ships tried to dodge, but the torpedoes struck them in every timeline where they might have moved. All 50 enemy ships exploded in perfect synchronization. "Battle group destroyed," the weapons officer reported. "Time, 12 seconds. This same scene repeated across Krellin space. Human ships with technology the galaxy couldn't understand fought Krellin ships using weapons from a previous age. It was like watching adults fight children. In 18 hours, the Krellin military ceased to exist. Every shipyard destroyed. Every military base annihilated. Every command center vaporized. Every orbital platform gone. Not a single Krellin warship remained in space. The Krellin homeworld watched in horror as a human ship approached their moon. Dr. Choi herself was on that ship. She armed one Event Horizon device and launched it at the moon's surface. The singularity bomb activated. For exactly 3 seconds, a tiny black hole existed on the moon. It consumed rock and metal and everything nearby, growing bigger. Then at precisely 3 seconds, it collapsed safely, exactly as designed. The moon split in half. 2 massive pieces drifted slowly apart, a permanent scar visible from the planet below. Dr. Choi broadcast to the Krellin homeworld. "This is what one bomb does. We have 100 more. Your military is gone. Your empire is defenseless. Surrender now or we will demonstrate what happens to your planet." The Krellin government surrendered 3 minutes later. But the most important mission was still happening. Commander Hana Park rode in a drop pod with Strike Team Omega. 20 soldiers, all volunteers, all the best Earth had. Their target, the Imperial Palace on Krellin Prime. Their objective, capture Prince Vorn alive. The pod entered atmosphere at incredible speed, protected by shields that made it invisible to Krellin scanners. It landed in the palace gardens with barely a sound. Hana stepped out first. She carried a neural disruptor, a weapon that shut down Krellin nervous systems without killing them. Her team spread out in perfect formation, moving through the palace like ghosts. The Krellin guards never had a chance. The neural disruptors worked on a 50-kilometer radius. Every Krellin in the palace simply collapsed, their bodies paralyzed but alive. They would wake up in a few hours with bad headaches but no permanent damage. Hana found Prince Vorn in his personal chambers. He was trying to send a message when his body suddenly stopped working. He fell to the floor, his eyes wide with fear, but unable to move. Hana knelt down next to him. She spoke quietly, her voice full of controlled rage. "You shot my son. You killed 2 innocent people. You thought you were untouchable because you're a prince." She stood up. "Now you're going to learn that no one is untouchable, not from us." Strike Team Omega secured Vorn and his guards. 30 minutes after landing, they were back in their drop pod heading to orbit. Mission accomplished. 0 casualties. The prince was in human custody. Captain Tay broadcast from the Indomitable, his ship in orbit above the Krellin capital. His message went to every world in the galaxy. The Krellin Empire's military no longer exists. Their government has surrendered. Prince Vorn and his guards are in custody and will stand trial under human law. He paused. "And let this be a message to every species in this galaxy. Humanity joined your council in peace. We asked only for respect. When one of you harmed our child, we gave you a chance for justice." His voice became hard as iron. "You chose to protect the guilty, so we made our own justice. If anyone ever harms another human child, we will not target your military. We will not target your government. We will target your entire species." The broadcast ended. The galaxy sat in stunned silence. Dr. Choi sent one final transmission. This one went only to the Galactic Council. It contained data, information, the truth, Earth's real technology level, quantum manipulation, spacefold drives, dimension-shifting shields, molecular-level weapons, everything humanity had hidden for 15 years. The data showed that humans weren't a Tier 3 species. They weren't even Tier 1. They were beyond the classification system entirely. Earth had developed faster-than-light travel 300 years before meeting the Krellin Empire. They had chosen to hide it. "We were never weak," the message said. "We were watching, learning who the predators were before revealing ourselves. Now the predators know. There's something far more dangerous in the universe. Us." The trial took place on Neutral Station 7, a place where no single species had control. But the station was now surrounded by human warships, a quiet reminder of who really held power. Prince Vorn stood in a clear energy field that kept him contained. His guards stood beside him, also imprisoned. They would be tried under human law, as Earth had demanded. The courtroom was full of observers from across the galaxy. They came to see justice, but also to see if humanity would execute the prince. Some species hoped for mercy. Others expected revenge. Ambassador Yuna served as the prosecutor. She was calm and precise as she presented evidence. Video of the shooting, medical records of Day's injuries, testimony from witnesses, records of the 2 humans who died. "The evidence is clear," Yuna said. Prince Vorn ordered his guards to fire on unarmed civilians, including a child. 2 people died. A child was critically injured. Under human law, this is murder and attempted murder. Vorn's lawyer, a Krellin who looked terrified, tried to argue diplomatic immunity. Yuna's response was simple. "Diplomatic immunity is granted by mutual agreement between species. The Krellin Empire broke that agreement when they murdered our citizens. There is no immunity for murder." The jury, composed of humans, deliberated for 2 hours. They found Prince Vorn and all his guards guilty. The sentence, life imprisonment on Titan, Earth's moon, in a facility built specifically for this purpose. Vorn screamed as they took him away. "I am a prince! You cannot do this! The Empire will rescue me!" Yuna watched him go. "The Empire you knew no longer exists." She was right. The Krellin Empire was broken, with no military, no shipyards, and their government in chaos. They could not resist when the Galactic Council placed them under supervision. Human warships enforced the new order, making sure the Krellins rebuilt peacefully. The Galactic Council itself changed completely. Ambassador Yuna stood before them, no longer asking for permission but stating facts. "Earth proposes the Terran Accords," she said. "New laws for the entire galaxy." She displayed the terms on everyone's screens. The most important rule was first: any species that harms a child of any other species will face immediate military action from Earth. No warnings, no negotiations, absolute protection for all children, everywhere. An alien council member, one who had laughed at Earth's threats just weeks ago, raised a tentacle nervously. "And if we don't agree to these accords?" Yuna smiled. It wasn't a kind smile. "Then Earth withdraws from the Council and makes our own rules. We will enforce protection for children with or without your agreement. The only question is whether you want to be part of the decision or not." The accords passed unanimously. Earth also claimed veto power on all Council decisions. Again, the vote was unanimous. No one wanted to argue with the species that had destroyed the galaxy's strongest empire in less than a day. 47 species requested defense treaties with humanity within the first week. Earth accepted them all, but with conditions. "We will protect you from external threats, but if you abuse your own people, especially children, the treaty is void, and we will act." The galaxy's power structure had completely reversed. Species that had ruled for thousands of years now looked to Earth for leadership. The primitive mammals were now the most feared and respected species in known space. On Earth, in a hospital built with technology that made Krellin medicine look like ancient herbs, Dae Kim woke up fully healed. The burns on his chest were gone, replaced with new skin grown from his own cells. He would have no scars, no pain, no memory of the injury, except in his mind. Admiral Jin came to visit him on his 9th birthday. The old warrior brought a cake and a present. "Do you know why we did all this?" Jin asked as Dae opened the gift. It was a model of the Indomitable, perfectly detailed. "Because they hurt me?" Dae said quietly. He had heard about the war, about what Earth did to the Krellin Empire. It scared him a little. "No," Jin said gently. "We did this because you represent our future. Every child does. You're the ones who will explore the galaxy, who will make friends with aliens, who will build something better than what we have now." He put a hand on Dae's shoulder. "And humanity protects its future with everything we have, not just our military, not just our weapons, everything we are." "But so many ships were destroyed," Dae said. "Didn't people die?" "The Krellin Third Fleet had no crew aboard. We confirmed that before we fired. Every Krellin worker at the shipyards was given time to evacuate. Every soldier was given a chance to surrender." Jin's voice was firm. "We destroyed their machines, not their people. We're not monsters, Dae. We're protectors." Dae thought about this. "What happens now?" "Now?" Jin smiled. "Now we help rebuild. The Krellin Empire made mistakes, but Krellin children didn't shoot anyone. They deserve to grow up safe too. So we'll help them build a better society, one that respects life instead of taking it." Hana entered the room, having just returned from Titan where she delivered Prince Vorn to his prison. She hugged her son carefully. "It's over," she said. "You're safe. Everyone is safe now." Across the galaxy, human embassies reopened with new signs at every entrance. Written in every major galactic language, the message was clear. Earth stands watch. Our children, all children, are untouchable. This is not a threat. This is a promise. Species that had children learned to love these signs. They meant protection, safety, the knowledge that humanity would cross the galaxy to defend the innocent. Species that had no morals learned to fear them. They meant that Earth was watching, waiting, ready to act if anyone stepped out of line. The Krellin Empire became a cautionary tale. Parents across the galaxy told their children, "This is what happens when you hurt the innocent. This is what happens when you think power makes you untouchable. The humans will come." On Titan, in a prison that was comfortable but escape-proof, Prince Vorn sat in his cell and thought about the child he had ordered shot. That one moment of cruelty had cost his empire everything. 400 worlds lost. Thousands of years of history erased. All because he couldn't control his temper around a small human child. Sometimes he heard the human guards talking about their own children, about birthday parties and school plays and bedtime stories. He finally understood what he had attacked. Not just a child, not just a person. He had attacked the thing humanity loved most in all the universe, and for that, he would spend the rest of his very long life in this cell, a reminder to the galaxy of what happens when you hurt what humans love. Back on Earth, Dr. Choi stood in her laboratory looking at the weapons she had built, the Hellfire torpedoes, the Reaper nanites. The Event Horizon bombs. They had worked perfectly. They had given humanity the power to reshape the galaxy. General Han entered the lab. "We're being asked to share our technology. The Council wants quantum weapons for their own defense." "No," Dr. Choi said simply. "These weapons are too dangerous. In the wrong hands, they could destroy civilizations. And in our hands. In our hands, they protect children." She turned off the displays. "That's the only reason they exist. The only reason they'll ever be used again." Admiral Jin made one final broadcast to the galaxy. He spoke from Earth's orbit, the planet blue and beautiful behind him. "Humanity did not want to reveal ourselves like this. We hope to join the galaxy quietly, learn from older species, and build friendships. But when one of you hurt our child, you forced our hand." He paused. "Now, you know what we really are. Not warriors, not conquerors. We are protectors, parents, guardians of the future. The galaxy has a choice now. Work with us to build something better. A place where children of all species can grow up safe. Where justice means justice, not power protecting power. Where the strong protect the weak instead of exploiting them." His voice became hard. "Or continue as you were, and find out what happens when you threaten our children again. The choice is yours." The transmission ended. The galaxy chose. Within a year, crime against children across all species dropped to nearly zero. The fear of humanity's response was too great. Parents everywhere slept better, knowing that if anyone hurt their children, Earth would come. Dae Kim grew up in this new galaxy. He studied diplomacy, wanting to help build the peace his mother and Admiral Jin had fought for. On his 18th birthday, he joined Earth's diplomatic corps. His first assignment was to Krellin Prime, to help them rebuild their society. When he arrived, young Krellins who had been children during the war came to meet him. They knew who he was, the child whose injury had changed the galaxy. "We're sorry," one young Krellin said, "for what our prince did, for what our empire was." Dae smiled. "You're not responsible for what happened before you were old enough to choose, but you can choose what happens next, build something better." And they did. The new Krellin government abolished their monarchy and created a democracy. They taught their children about the war, about what happens when power is abused. They became Earth's strongest allies, determined to never repeat their past mistakes. The galaxy learned humanity's true nature, not just the weapons, not just the ships, but the absolute, terrifying devotion to protecting what they loved. and every species learned a simple truth. Hurt a human child, and humanity will move heaven and earth and stars themselves to make it right. The galaxy was better for it.